It was a cold, dark night. Y'all probably are thinking, what is wrong with this girl? She has lost her mind. Y'all, it is a prank. It's a joke. I'ma scratch it. I'm playing with y'all. Let me get started the right way.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey. I gotcha. Welcome back to episode 23 of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. This is hosted by yours truly, the silly one. I am talking about myself. It is me, it is she is Twinkle. Call me Twinkle, call me Antoinette. As long as you're calling my name, that's really all that matters to me. This episode is a special episode. We are going to be talking about culture's biggest night. Yes, the BET Awards recap and celebration of 50 years of hip hop. They caught me off guard, and so I felt like if I'm going to give y'all my review, my recap, I got to catch y'all off guard. So if you did not catch this year's 2023 BET Awards, it was Sunday, June 25th. It was at 7 p.m., and there was a whole pre-show beforehand. It was totally worth the watch. Let me just say that. But if you don't have 4 hours, yes, I said it, 4 hours to set aside to watch it, no need to fear or to worry or to bother yourself with it because I have all of the details. So let me start off by saying I don't always have high hopes for the BET Awards, but this year was different. They put money into it. They put technology into it. A lot of stars from current day and the past, they showed up. And from my perspective, I personally thought everybody and their mama was in the building. As I look at the nominees list, there was quite a few people missing, and I have a bone to pick with them because the people that be missing be winning awards. Y'all show up to the Grammys, the VMAs, the Oscars, all that, but you know what? Let me not dive down that hill right now. It was actually a beautiful award show, beautiful stage setups. They performed on about 3 different stages. What was different this year is that it was hostless. There was no host, which I personally believe there was no host because there's a writer's strike going on right now with the Writers Guild of America. And I will have to get into that in detail later on in this podcast, but the writers aren't having it. And I understand as a writer myself, yeah, I'll get into that later. But since there's nobody to write all of the monologues and all of the jokes, then there's no host. Thankfully, every single year we have the smooth sounds of MC Light as the MC, and she just guides us through all the commercials and the show. And then this year was different. We had Kid Capri as the MC as well as the DJ the entire time. So it just felt like a cultural hip-hop party. It took place inside the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles, California. In total, there were only 6 awards that were given on the show, but only 2 people were there to receive those 6 awards. Yeah, that's a whole problem. We'll talk about it later. And there were other awards that were given, I believe, off camera or at the pre-show. So I will go through all those details as well. As the show opener, we all know that this is a big deal. This year, they started with the young star being Lil Uzi Vert. I don't personally listen to Lil Uzi Vert. I can't even tell you what he looks like. Maybe that's just for the younger generation. But I don't think anybody else could tell you what he looked like either because he opened up the show wearing a ski mask. It was very confusing. And I had no idea who it was until they said it over the announcement. So he opened up the show and he was doing like these dance moves and he had dancers behind him, but the song sounded a bit familiar to me. And the name of his song that he performed was I Just Wanna Rock. For all you TikTok users out there like myself, you've heard this song on TikTok before and you've seen people dance to it. So marketing through TikTok is like it's working because that is the only reason I know that song. And I only know the part that they sing on TikTok. So last night was my first time being able to hear the entire thing. So shout out to Little Uzi Vert. I don't know why you would perform and not want to show your face. Do you not want to be a celebrity? That's confusing. Anywho, yeah, right when that performance was over, the performing didn't stop right there. In order to truly celebrate 50 years of hip hop, they had to take it all the way back to the beginning. Walking through a quick history lesson, we saw the 80s rap culture from New York City. So all of a sudden, we have the Sugar Hill Gang come out. Now, of course, I wasn't even born in the 80s, but who doesn't know Rapper's Delight? Everybody started going crazy in the audience. Everybody was so hyped. Then all of a sudden we see MC Light come out and I'm like, wow, we're used to hearing her over the intercom as the MC, but now she's out. She performs her hit song, Cha Cha Cha. Then we see D Nice come out and I heard his song and I was like, oh, this sounds really familiar because the song that he performed was My Name is D Nice. So I guess it's called Call Me D Nice, but I've heard that from D.L. Hughley's morning show when the theme song is My Name is D.L. And I'm like, oh, that's where he got it from. Y'all, don't blame me, blame my age, all right? So then after D-Nice, we have Big Daddy Kane come out and performs Raw. But he cannot perform his song Raw without giving a special tribute to one of the pioneers of hip hop, Biz Markie himself. In the microphone, he stated, I would not be in this business on the stage tonight if it wasn't for one person. Then the picture of Biz Markie popped up on the screen and he said, rest in peace. At that point, he invited all of the audience members to sing along to his famous song, Just a Friend. And literally the entire room was singing along and it kept going and going and going until finally they had to cut off the song and it went to commercial. But it was definitely a beautiful moment and it was great that they paid homage to him in that moment as well. Right after that, we had the presentation of the first award. So the first award was going to Best New Artist. Now, I understand that the categories are important when you give out the award, but what's just as important are the people that are presenting the award. So, of course, we had Ray J and Princess Love. They are a roller coaster, but they are so exciting to watch. Of course, they are married. They've had their ups and downs. They were presenting because they were also promoting the newest season of Love and Hip Hop Miami that will be coming out here soon. So that is why they were on stage presenting. But before they announced the winner, Ray J made it his business to assure us as an audience that he absolutely loves and adores his beautiful wife, Princess Love. He then grabbed her by her waist and pulled her closer to him, and he said he's never letting her go. So for all of you men out there, he sees you, especially the ones that were in her DMs when they were separated. He's letting y'all know that she is his and to back off. Yeah, it was a classic Ray J moment. Ray J never ceases to amaze us with his comedic outbursts, and I think he's funny, and he's not even trying to be funny. Yeah, so that was a great moment. And then they went into presenting the Best New Artist Award. So this year's Best New Artist Award went to the beautiful and multi-talented R&B singer herself, Coco Jones, for her song that plays continuously on the radio called I See You. If you haven't heard it, you definitely should go stream it. It is a beautiful song. Actually, after she won the award, she was able to go on stage and perform the song after the commercial. So I really appreciate some of the artists' speech when they do win their award, especially hers. She was literally waiting in the audience, sitting next to her mother and her sister, and she was so shocked when she won. Like, this was not an instance where they told her in advance she was going to win. And so she was literally shaking. Her eyes were turning red because she was crying and she was so grateful and so thankful. And I really appreciate seeing that response from artists that win on the BET Awards, because BET Awards are just as important when you're getting awarded from your own people rather than when they get MTV Awards or they get Billboard Music Awards. I know that as an artist in your career, you want to go to the highest level of acknowledgement in your industry, but when you get awarded by your own people, they're giving you your flowers while you're living. This is not a less than award. Your community, your culture, your Black people, they see your value and their worth. So I love when people are emotional when they receive their award. And she wasn't the first in this show, and she definitely won't be the last. We also know her not only as an R&B singer, but she also is on the remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that is on Peacock. She plays the character of Hillary Banks. So not only is Coco Jones representing well for our community through acting, but then also she's extremely talented in her music career as well. So shout out to Coco Jones. Her performance after that was amazing. The next performance was by Lotto. She did perform her song titled Put It on the Floor. It's the song on TikTok where everybody does a little dance moves to Rip Me Out the Plastic, I've Been Acting Brand New. Yes, she performed that, and that song, she is on that song with Cardi B. Cardi B is featured on there, but Cardi B wasn't there to perform with her, but it didn't take away from the performance. Then we did have the second award of the night. It was for Video Director of the Year. There was a female that actually won this category. Shout out to all my women out there. Yes, the singer that we know as Tiana Taylor is also a video director. So I've known that just because some of the artists that I like, I've seen her on their Instagrams when she was actually directing their music videos. She was acknowledged for that last night at the BET Awards. And she was not physically there, but her mother and the rest of her family, they were there. So they went on stage to accept the award on her behalf. It sounds sweet, right? It was a moment. It was a moment that I didn't need, and they could have cut that out. But this award show was live, so they couldn't. Hence the reason why it was 4 hours. Now, her mother goes on stage, and she's literally shaking, and she has her phone in her hand, and she said, you know, I'm just so thankful, and I'm going to accept this award on my daughter's behalf. She couldn't be here, and she started stumbling over her words, and she was like, you know what? Just hold on a second, because I'm going to call her so she could say it herself, because she still needs to have her moment. All right, BT, I know y'all going to be mad, but just hold on a second. So literally, on live television, she opens up her phone, calls her daughter on the video chat. Tiana Taylor picks up. I'm like, okay, is this planned? Is she going to pop up on the screen? No, the camera literally zoomed in to her phone that she then put it in front of the microphone. Her mom is like, you won for Video Director of the Year. And in that moment, you saw Tiana Taylor literally run off the screen on the camera and then come back into view because she was so excited. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. And she can see the big audience in the background, and she's so excited. Me and my husband agreed that they probably should have cut it off at that moment because that was a real, genuine moment, and that was good enough. But no, her mother, I felt like it was ghetto, but that's just my opinion. She decided to let her give her own acceptance speech through the phone microphone into the real microphone on live TV. Mind you, they are in the Microsoft Center. They probably have so many cell phones in the building that reception is horrible in there. So the entire time that Tiana Taylor is giving her acceptance speech, she's like, thank you to this person and thank you. She sounded like a robot. You know, like when you're on the phone with somebody and the reception is cutting in and out. It was just so janky. It was a lot for us to be like shaking our head like, well, yeah, Oh, I think she said thank you. Okay. Yeah, at one point on her mom's phone, we saw a pop-up that said weak Wi-Fi signal. Well, you think? Anyways, so that was the moment. I was glad when it was over. BT, they should have started playing the Let's Wrap It Up music on her. But anyways, shout out to Tiana Taylor. So right after that award was given, we had an extremely special moment. It was totally unexpected to everybody at home and everybody that was in the building there. It was a tribute performance from the surviving members of the Migos. We had Quavo and we had Offset. Now, mind you, we all know that Takeoff passed away last year. Takeoff was extremely young. They were a group, all three of them, and they are actual family members. In the midst of their breakup before he passed away, the Migos, they weren't recording songs together anymore. Nobody fully knows the reason as to why. And even in his passing, they were literally beefing. They did not want to talk to each other. They almost got in a fight in public. They lost the life of not only their group member, but also their family member that they were both close to. And one of them was not on good terms with him when he passed away. Nobody thought they were going to be able to patch things up to the point where they were going to be performing a tribute performance together at the BET Awards. And it was so special because it was them coming together on stage. That was a wow moment at this year's awards. Moving right along, right after that, we then have the Best Female Hip Hop Artist Award. The winner for that category, Lotto, she specifically shouted out all the women in that category, and she said she was just so honored to be in the same category as them. And then also she shouted out the names of other female hip-hop artists that should have been in the category in her opinion. So people that we don't even know of, but that she knows and supports, and she gave them that public recognition. After she accepted that award, coming back from commercial, I know we've had a few performances here in between here, but I'll get to the performances in just a second. But we did have another award, which was the BET Her Award to Beyonce for Break My Soul. She was not there, of course, to receive the award. As a member of the Beehive, I ain't really been buzzing, okay, in the last year or two. And Beyonce stopped showing up to the BET Awards a while ago, and I feel some type of way because they always snub her at the other award shows. But she shows up smiling and everything. Beyonce, you need to come back home to the BET Awards. But anywho, she does have an excuse because she is on a world tour right now, so we'll give her that. It just seems like she schedules her tours always in June when it's the BET Awards. But anywho, that's just my opinion. One thing that was really different about this year's award show is that they had a lot of performances from the Black culture, but not just within the United States. What I really like this year is that they highlighted and showcased Jamaicans, Nigerians, some of the nominees that were Black that were not based in America. They still highlighted them, but definitely they did that in the music. They had the Jamaican music, they had reggae music. Shaggy performed at one point, and nobody's gonna complain about that. It was a whole party. DJ Kid Capri, he went through all of the important cities that are in hip-hop in the different coasts, and that's how he showed us how to celebrate 50 years of hip-hop. For the Dirty South, we had Jeezy, and he performed his Trap Star song. Everybody got so excited. Then we had T.I. come out. He performed You Don't Know Me. We had Master P come out. He performed Make 'Em Say, na, 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 na. Yeah, it was a whole moment. Everybody got really excited. Then also from the South, we had Miami Superstars come out, Trick Daddy and Trina. Now, you know, when you see Trick Daddy come out and you see Trina, you already know what they're going to perform, okay? They're going to perform Nan. Now, me, myself, personally, I have never heard an edited version of this song. So I couldn't even... I was very confused. I'm like, I can't even sing along with you. I don't even know, like, how do you edit this song? Like, yeah, of course, that was, like, one of their biggest hits, and they perform that whenever they go on tour. But they attempted to perform. Every other word had to be cut out, even of the edited version. But they performed that, and people were excited to see it. Right after they performed, Uncle Luke came out, which is very interesting because of all, like, the talk about Freaknik and the documentary that came out recently. He came out and the entire crowd went crazy. I love seeing the audience reactions more than anything because you can tell who was getting excited and what age they were based on the music they got excited to. They felt like it was the 80s or the 90s and they were either in school at a school dance or they was at a party or they was living their best life all over again. Like, it felt like a trip down memory lane. It was so exciting and funny to watch. So he performed I Wanna Rock Doo-Doo Brown, yeah, and the entire crowd went nuts. Like nuts. The dancers were like dancing like their life depended on it. Some of the celebrities that were in the crowd, they were fanning out. One of them being Pretty V. Yo, she is so hilarious. She was at the edge of the stage like she was like his number one fan, and she was dancing like she was getting paid to dance, to the point where he brought her up on stage and she was so shocked. You could tell like it wasn't planned, and she just kept doing the dance and everybody smiling and laughing. It was such a moment. So shout out to Pretty V and Uncle Luke. Yeah, so then as the show continued to go on, I know that he went through a few more cities as well. So since that was the Dirty South, he had gone to the Midwest, and in the Midwest, he had Chief Keef do a mini performance, as well as the Yin Yang Twins. They came in and did a performance, and of course, they did the performance to their Whisper song. So I felt like, okay, yeah, this is my era. I know this song, and I was so excited. And of course, I've also never heard an edited version of that song, but so I was very confused. But it was showing like other people, when the new artists would come up and perform as well, you're like, oh, okay, they sampled their song, because I don't know some of the new artists on there. But that was a whole moment as well. After that, we did have some more awards being given out, which I believe was the Viewer's Choice Award, which once again went to Beyonce. She was presented 2 of the awards that were presented on TV, but I believe she won 3 awards total for the night. Moving right along, I do know one of the musical tribute combinations that just really got my attention, which were Fat Joe and Remy Ma. We had Ja Rule come out on stage. Naughty by Nature came out there. They had all of those older school people, and then they had the new ones mixed in after that from the New York rapper Ice Spice. And then we also had another performer, her name is Callie, when she performed her area code songs. Got a white boy on my roster. He be feeding me pasta and lobster. We also did have a performance from Redman, EPMD. Yeah, I got so excited when the West Coast Legends came out on stage. Warren G, Yo-Yo, E40. When he did Tell Me When to Go, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in 11th, 12th grade all over again, y'all. Tyga came out. Kid Capri also did a spin for Tupac. He also gave homage to Pop Smoke. Then they had Patti Labelle come out on stage because she was the one that was giving the musical tribute to Tina Turner. Patti Labelle, we know that she is a legend in her own right. She's also up in age, but we know she could sing, right? Her performance, for lack of any type of better verbiage or even acknowledgement of her feelings, it was a hot mess, and they could have kept it. Patti, that was rude and disrespectful. How do you mess up a Tina Turner song? First of all, Tina Turner songs have been around forever. She was in her age bracket. Like, what? Are you just hating? Because I feel like Patti LaBelle would be highly upset if somebody messed up her tribute song. So for her to get up there, and she agreed to do the tribute song, the song that she chose was simply the best. And when she was singing, the track that was playing in the background, I don't know if she just don't know how to sing along with the track, but the words were off and we were hearing echoes. That was a mess. It was a bad track. Then on top of that, Patti LaBelle literally says in the middle of her performance, Lord help me, I can't read the words on the teleprompter. Yo, where is the man with the broom to sweep her off the stage? That was That was just disrespectful to a Tina Turner song. Girl, you knew you was performing. You should have been listening to that song on repeat. There are lyrics online at this point. You could read that with your glasses up close. I was so mad. I felt some type of way because Tina Turner was a legend. And for her to have that whack song, like, and the song isn't whack, but the way that Patti performed it, it was a hot mess. Literally, the audience had to start singing along loud just to help her get through it. It was like she didn't even try. She didn't give it any effort. And I know that they wanted a legend to do a tribute for a legend, but there are so many other people they could have chosen. There's so many other song selections. Like, they could have done a medley of songs. I know that Beyonce would have been the best person for it, and she's on tour, so of course she couldn't do it. But y'all need to redo this tribute next year because it was a mess this year. And Patti, I felt like Patti didn't want Tina to have her moment. How do you not know the words to the song? Oh my gosh. You thought you was going to get up there, like my husband said, she thought she was going to get on stage and do karaoke and rely on the words on the screen to get her through the song. It was too much. The disrespect was unreal. And Patti, go sit down and go eat your pie. I was mad. But anyway, there's a few things that stood out to me more so. Remy Ma, shout out to her. She looks snatched. I mean, Remy Ma looks amazing for her age. So kudos to her. The major moment of the night goes to Busta Rhymes, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award. And yeah, it was so special. It was a moment, and it was the way that it was done. Only BET could have done that. And I was so happy for him, like I knew him personally. Before he could even start talking, he was getting emotional. And the first sentence he said was, "I'm going to wear it on my sleeve. I do want to cry." And then he proceeded to actually tear up, and he had to turn around and they had to give him like a Kleenex or just a cloth to wipe his face because he's really crying, but he's showing like it's okay for grown men to cry. Like, this was a very special moment for him, especially knowing that he's been nominated for, I believe it was like 10 or 12 Grammys at this point and has never won one. Like, Busta Rhymes is a legend. They had Swiss Beats, which is one of his closest friends, present the Lifetime Achievement Award to him. Marlon Wayans actually came up on stage before Swiss Beats, and before the video played, the video tribute to Busta Rhymes, and he said he can only describe Busta Rhymes in one word, as brilliant. Like, he said, Busta Rhymes is the most loving, caring person you'll ever meet. He will give you a tight bear hug. Like, all of that is not an act. His mind is just brilliant, and his music videos and all the creativity he puts into it and the effort he puts into his songs, he is like truly a gift. So definitely throughout the video tribute to him, we had acknowledgement from Diddy, Janet Jackson, Chuck D, Missy Elliott, Pharrell Williams, as well as Mariah Carey. They all have beautiful things to say about him. And in his very long-winded speech, I'm going to summarize it for you guys, but he basically talked about how he has six children, but at the time, the beginning of his career, when he was kicked out of the group that he was in, he was like worried about how he was going to feed his one son he had at the time. Now, fast forward, he has 6 children and he loves all of them, and he does it. That has been one of the motivators for him to keep going and make sure that like he does whatever he can and sacrifices, and he pushed and believed in his dream because he had to feed his children. And he noticed that there's a lot of greatness out here, especially in our culture, and it's because there's a magic that we have. And he said he's so thankful for the magic that like God has gifted to him, and that he's not stopping. He's still putting out music. He's so excited to be here. Y'all, he is 51 years old. And after this speech, he went on stage and he performed for his tribute performance along with like a plethora of celebrities that he brought out with him. And he was so hyped, and he could say every single word to every single verse. And y'all know that he talks super fast at 51 years old, and he kept up all of the energy. I was just so happy for him. It was a moment. On stage with him, he had brought out Spliff Star, Scarlett, Coi Leray, Bia, Dexa Dap, Spice. We know her from Love and Hip Hop. He bought out Cuddy Ranks. There were so many people he brought out on stage with him. It was a moment, and I believe it had to be like at least a 10, 13-minute performance. So I was definitely very excited for him, and you could tell his kids were at the edge of the stage, and they were recording from their phones like it's not going to be on TV. They were so excited. So that was his moment, and it was definitely well-deserved. The very last thing, they had a finale performance, which was perfect way to end out the celebration of 50 years of hip hop, because of course along with hip hop came like a lot of like trendy dances. It definitely got people on their feet to close out this hip hop party and celebration. So to start off the finale performance, they brought out Dougie Fresh, and they had him dancing by himself on stage to Teach Me How to Dougie, teach me how to Dougie, teach me how to Dougie, teach me how to Dougie. Yeah, it was so funny because he was doing his best. Now he up there, he probably somebody's grandpa, but that was also a shout out to him. Yeah, so we had that. They had break dancers come out on stage. Kid and Play came out on stage. They performed. King Combs, which is P. Diddy's son, he came out on stage and performed his hit song that is all over the radio right now. Then all of a sudden we see them coming out and they play Tootsie Roll. Let me see you Tootsie Roll to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Yeah, that was exciting. I was dancing in my bed the whole time like it was a party. They came out, they did Lean With It, Rock With It, Lean With It, Rock With It. Now then they had to bring out Soulja Boy Tell 'Em. And y'all know everybody that was in the building, they are up there and in their ages, in their 30s, 40s, 20s, whatever, and they're all doing Crank That Soulja Boy right with him. And I'm sure that was a moment for him because he is now on stage celebrating this song that he made so long ago when the internet wasn't even nearly as advanced as it is now. So right after that, they had dancers come out and they danced to Walk It Out, Walk It Out, Walk It Out, Walk It Out, Eastside Walk It Out. Yeah, they had that. Then they had the performance for Stanky Leg. Do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg. Y'all, I was excited too. I felt like I was in college. Yeah. Then they had Swag and Surf. They had everybody doing the Swag and Surf. And I believe that was the song that ended it off. But it was a whole moment. MC Light and Kid Capri came out on stage at the end to close it out. And I do have to say, there was not a gospel segment. And I'm like, y'all done took Jesus out the awards? I was a little thrown off by that. But at the same time, in the years past, I was also thrown off by like the Ratchet music. And then all of a sudden they took it to Glory and then they came back to Ratchet. It was weird transitions. But I do think when they start doing like humanitarianism awards and like the memorials, that's when they should have the gospel music. They need to just have a better transition. But even if they wanted to include it this year, it was already 4 hours long. So hopefully they're better prepared for that next year. But anyway, just some honorable mentions. For Album of the Year, Beyonce won that. Well, she tied with SZA for Beyonce's album Renaissance and SZA's album SOS. So neither one of them were there, so they didn't present that on TV. SZA won the award for Best Female R&B/pop artist. There was also a tie for Best Male R&B/pop artist, which was Chris Brown and Usher. So a shout out to them as well. For Best Group, Drake and 21 Savage won because they have an album together, which they weren't there. So y'all should probably reconsider giving these awards to the people that never show up. Anywho, for Best Collaboration, that was Future, Drake, and Tim's for their song Wait For You. And then for Best Male Hip Hop Artist, the winner was Kendrick Lamar. Well deserved, but I don't know where he was. Video of the Year goes to SZA for her video Kill Bill. Okay, there was also, speaking of the Lord, Bobby Jones' Best Gospel Inspirational Award went to Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin for their song Bless Me. Y'all know that. I know you've heard it. Bless me, bless me. Yeah, I love it. The Best International Act, that was presented on television. That went to Burna Boy from Nigeria. They also, as an honorable mention, they had a Viewer's Choice Best International Act as well. The Viewer's Choice Best International Act went to Libyanka. She or he is from Cameroon. Shout out to all my Cameroonians out there. We also had the Best Movie Award that went to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. The Best Actor went to Damon Idris. And just to end it out with 4 more awards, Best Actress went to Angela Bassett, which she was there in the audience. They should have presented it live. The Young Stars Award goes to Marsai Martin. Sportswoman of the Year award went to Angel Reese, and the Sportsman of the Year award goes to Jalen Hurts, which I was a little salty about because Patrick Mahomes was also in that category. But I digress. Anywho, y'all should definitely check out this year's BET Awards. I definitely hope that you enjoyed my segment. And until next time, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Excuse Me, I'm Speaking. I will be coming out with another episode this week to go over everything that's gone on in this past week. But until next time, follow me on Instagram at SheIsTwinkle1, and I will be back here soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.